When Triumph launched the original Daytona back in 2006, it grabbed the supersport market by the throat and gave it the much-deserved shake it needed. Then they went and brought out the awesome 675R in 2011. This had Olin suspension, Brembo brakes, a quick shifter as standard, and some carbon gubbins that you couldn't believe. It took an awesome road bike and turned it into an out-of-the-box, proper track weapon. More than that though, us Brits finally had a proper sports bike to be proud of, highlighted by its dominance in the British Superbike Supersport Series last year. Not just with Glenn Richards taking the title win, but in the fact that 7 out of the top 10 in the championship were on a 675R. So when Triumph said they're bringing out an all-new version of the Daytona, there was scepticism abound. Would this new version live up to the hype? Would it be as good as the old bike? Or would they ruin an icon? To find out just how good it is, we put it to its natural hunting ground, on track in Cartagena, and gave the keys to Ali Fagan from Fast Bikes magazine. So come on then, Ali, answer the question on everyone's lips. Is it any good?
Yes, much better. This is the first bike in Fast Bikes magazine. It's scored 11 out of 10. So yeah, that gives you some idea of its ability.
That's so good you broke the laws of mathematics just to give this the praise it deserves. Well, I mean, look, the old bike was spectacular. I loved it, as we know that, you know, it's taken the racing world by storm when it came out in 2011, the R version. How can this be any better?
Put simply, this is the best handling road bike out there. Certainly. I know we rode it just on track, all the new changes, the new geometry, the new suspension, everything adds up to be just a magical ride.
How can it be that much better? Because on paper, yeah, there were some improvements. I think it's an extra 3 brake horsepower, it's 1.5 kilograms lighter, and obviously they've changed positioning the exhaust, but it doesn't seem to be that drastic, and yet what you're saying is that this bike is that much better. It's an incredible kind of move on.
The work done to reposition the exhaust is a massive amount of work. People may just say, oh, just plonk it on the side, down the bottom, job done. But the whole weight distribution had to change, and that dramatically affects the bike and improves the handling. But when we were cruising around the Triumph Test Rider, just at normal speeds, you know, very slow speeds, there wasn't that much noticeable change.
Yeah.
But then as soon as you open the throttle and get going, then yeah, it's very, very good.
See, a lot of people will probably think, because apart from the exhaust, there's not a huge amount of styling changes. This isn't a brand new bike, but it really is. I think there's a rear mudguard and a rear foot peg that are the only components that are the same from the last model. So they have spent 4 years redesigning this from the ground up, and from what you're saying, they've done a good job.
Absolutely. I mean, when you get close to the bike, those of you who've seen it in the bike show, you'll notice the changes, but just looking at it in pictures, yeah, you need to ride it.
You really need to get out there and ride it. Well, listen, so let's talk to me about the engine, because they've made a few changes to that. Again, on paper, it doesn't look that massive, but from what you've been saying to me kind of off camera, it makes a big difference, doesn't it?
The heart of any Triumph is the engine, you know, that triple engine. We've always said it's almost like cheating, it's that good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a perfect mix for supersports. You want that mixture of torque and VHP, don't you, which is what it can deliver.
And this thing now pulls from the bottom really, really hard and just spins and spins and spins, revs harder, revs faster. It's almost like a 750, you know, it's always bordering on that.
Well, okay, so overall as a package, because when you look at this, people are saying, what is it, it's £10,500, I think, for the R version?
It is expensive,
well,
but...
you don't get a lot of electronic aids as well, do you?
No, but you know, you've got the Olins, you've got all the technology behind it, it's 4 years worth of work.
Yeah, you do get a quick shifter, don't you?
Yep.
And you do get A-assist slipper clutch. Well, yeah, actually, the ABS I've heard quite really good things about, because I know they've got a circuit mode on this as well, which pretty much turns it off, doesn't it? And allows you to use it a lot more aggressively on track.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you just press a button into circuit mode on the dash, and this is without doubt the best ABS system I've ridden with on track. Doesn't intrude, even when you're hard on the brakes, flat out 150 miles an hour, braking into a second gear, 40 mile an hour bend. Nice and bumpy, not once did it intrude.
Well, listen, I just want to get on this bike now and go riding. You do literally make it sound that good. As an overall package, one of the best bikes you've ever ridden?
Certainly the best handling bike I've ever ridden, but it should be treated more than just a 600. It's now up there with, you know, your middleweights, your exotic middleweights. Another thing I forgot to mention was build quality. And how much that's come on in the last couple of years.
Triumph improved massively in this respect, haven't they? Yeah.
And particularly the 2013 675R and the Street Triple.
Yeah.
It is exquisite quality. Everything, you know, the nuts and bolts, everything on this bike has been thought about.
So do you think this is the best ever race bike, pretty much out of the box?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, this bike was developed along with the race teams. Like you said, it won the British Supersport.
Yeah, last year, and took 7 in the top 10, so it wasn't just a fluke or one-off.
Yeah.
The fact that Glenn Richards can really ride, this bike was destroying the other bikes in the paddock.
And like I said, the changes will be felt more by the faster riders, and the faster you go, the better it is.
So then it sounds like in its natural environment on track, it is amazing.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, what do you reckon it's going to be like on a cold February morning when it's wet and rainy and icy here in the UK?
Oh, it's still going to be good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean the comfort-wise and ergonomics is improved. It's much comfier. There's more room to move about. The suspension with its vast adjustability.
Yeah, I mean that's nothing we haven't really touched on. The Odin's fully adjustable. That's not just for track for getting an extra 0.2 out of your lap time. That can be used and utilised on the road to give you a much more comfortable, softer ride.
Absolutely. I mean it's not cheap tap. This stuff really works. Every single click can be felt.
Yeah.
You just soften up for the road, stiffen up for the track.
Do you know what? You've got me really, really excited. I know this will probably, what would you say, it features in your top 3 bikes of all time?
Absolutely.
And it is, as you mentioned earlier, the first ever bike in Fast Bikes magazine to get 11 out of 10, even though that is mathematically impossible. But not everyone is interested in what a bike is like on track. So I'm going to be getting my hands on this little puppy in the next few weeks here in the UK, and I'll be letting you know what it's like to live with on a daily basis.